You're good.
Alrighty, welcome to Forget About It Cup. We have a very special movie that we are reviewing today because all the movies we review are special. So today, if you're joining us for the first time or if you are joining us for the fourth time, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe and please feel free to comment. We really enjoy getting to hang out, talk movies, do 6 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon and just chat. So welcome, welcome. All right, so today we are doing a movie that I actually did not see until the last year or two, even though the movie came out. When the movie come out, Justin?
95.
95. So I was a spry 11-year-old. And so the movie that we're reviewing today is a movie called Heat. And man, I tell you what, it has some serious cast power. I mean, as I went back and watched this, I was like, oh, he's in it. Oh, he's in it. She's in it. Oh, wow, she's in it. I mean, it was like just big name after big name. Now, I'm just going to give you kind of a brief overview of what this movie was about, and then we'll dive into it. Does that sound good, Justin?
Sounds good.
All right, so this movie, Al Pacino is the thief. We'll call him the master thief. And Al Pacino,
No, 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 no. Robert De Niro
or,
is.
or sorry, yeah, Robert De Niro is the master thief, and Al Pacino is the guy that's trying to bust him. So yeah, Al Pacino is the lieutenant, Vincent, and Al and De Niro is Neil, and kind of a cat and mouse game, you know. Pacino's character is trying to get De Niro's character at all cost. And De Niro is kind of a unique character because he's very selective on his jobs, but he's definitely trying to not get caught, but also pull off. Would you call it a retirement heist?
It feels that way, especially
Yeah.
toward the end of the movie where they talk about going out to New Zealand and all that stuff.
Yep. And so it's an overview, master thief, cop who's trying to get him, and then man, just a lot of great characters in between. Is that kind of a nice overview of this movie?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a simple plot interweaved with a bunch of like personal stories. Al Pacino's character got a strange wife situation. He's starting to be out of touch with his girlfriend or his wife. His stepdaughter, obviously played by Natalie Portman, ends up trying to commit suicide later in the movie. You have Robert De Niro's character, who's basically, as we find out about halfway through the movie, a bit of a loner type, and that's when he ends up meeting the other lady at the bar, and they end up starting a relationship. It is a very, I think, straightforward plot. There's nothing, unique about this, but a lot of characters, a lot of, as you said before, A-list casting in this movie, and I think because it is such a strong cast, and you have some of the, biggest landmark actors of the 20th century in Pacino and De Niro. I'm actually curious to see how we recast this movie if this movie were to be made today. And it's interesting that we talk about that because I've actually looked, and Michael Mann, who directed this movie, is thinking about making a sequel.
Is that the one with Christian Bale?
I heard,
Well,
I
that's what I heard was one of the cast choices was Christian Bale, but that's I saw that like on Facebook or one of those things where it's hard to tell if it's true or if it's just speculation.
well, the one I saw had Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay. Ooh.
So again, when we get into recasting, we can kind of talk about that. Um, so in terms of this movie, what were your favorite parts?
I tell you what, the way the movie started was wild, right? One thing that just really jumped out at me with this movie is whenever they're going through the heist, the hockey mask. The hockey mask to me is a very distinct memory. That's what they're using, one, to hide their identity, and two, probably some protection there in the event they have to go hand-to-hand combat. But yeah, the hockey mask was very memorable. And then another scene to me that was pretty memorable was when Pacino and the other, law enforcement, they think they have De Niro, and they show up to the place with all the trailers. and he's like, where is everybody? Where is everybody? And then he realizes like that they're being watched. I thought that
Right.
was a pretty memorable scene. And then the last action scene was to me was fantastic. Everyone's kind of fending for themselves. Everyone's trying to escape. And the one scene where the guy had the hostage and he gets taken out. That was a pretty memorable scene. But no, I mean, how about you? What were some of the scenes that jumped out at you?
I agree. I think the shootout scene is probably the one that a lot of people remember. Um, Coming out of that, they're in the streets, they're hiding behind cop cars. It's a dramatic shootout. People are taken out during that scene. Obviously, Val Kilmer's character uh, gets it. Obviously, he survives, but spoiler alert. Um, but I think that's probably the most memorable scene in my mind is the shootout scene. Obviously, the one that is almost comical at this point is the interrogation of Hank Azaria's character by Al Pacino, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that part is just more like meme-ish, but I'd have to say the shootout scene is extremely good. Watching this movie, and again, I'm kind of like you, it took me a long time for me to get around and seeing this movie. I saw it in the last year. And, when I saw it, it's obviously 2025, 2026 now. Movie's 30 years old. This movie looks so good. It is a good looking movie. Obviously, yeah, the movie came out 30 years ago, and the actors are obviously much younger back then than they are now. But the movie holds up very, very well. I mean, it is a good looking movie. I love the soundtrack on it. Um, what blows my mind is I'm looking at the cast right now. And yeah, you have two big landmark actors, Pacino and De Niro. But then you get Val Kilmer, who oftentimes steals the show in every movie that he's in, whether it was Tombstone or anything else. He is a phenomenal actor. He does a great job in this. John Voight plays a kind of a smaller character, but he's really good in this. And then, you look back at it, like this was kind of like Ashley Judd had probably done a few things at this point in time, but she wasn't a landmark actor at the time. Obviously, Natalie Portman was a teenager, but then you have some other supporting characters like Danny Trejo's in this movie.
Yep. Yep.
So,
And one movie that I remember him very, very clearly from is Con Air, with Nicolas Cage.
yeah.
And but no, John Voight, when you mentioned him, mustache. I haven't seen a lot of movies where he had the mustache. The most memorable movie with him that I remember is Anaconda. He's
Well,
got the
I think John Voight
ponytail and no
has,
facial hair.
he also has the ponytail in this movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yep.
So, but no, it's such a well cast movie. It was interesting to me is Michael Mann, the guy that directed the movie. I was looking at his filmography and I was like, okay, he's probably directed other similar movies like this.
Yeah.
And the only movie that I could see in there that I would find like somewhat similar to this, I mean, obviously he directed Miami Vice, the
Okay.
one with Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx. He also did Collateral with Tom Cruise.
That was a very good movie. Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. So, definitely an interesting pathway for him to direct this movie. Michael Mann was also an executive producer on the original Miami Vice back in the 1980s.
Okay.
So, very interesting, pathway that he's taken. Um, I believe this movie was actually made for television in the
Okay.
late 1980s.
Interesting.
I think it was called LA Takedown. It
Okay.
was like a NBC movie of the week or something like that, back when they had that stuff. And I think it came out in either 89 or 90. And then they end up coming up with the cinematic, movie version. But I think that's an interesting trivia.
Well, I tell you what, to me, so the movie's well done, right, from start to finish, and I think it cracks the 2 hour mark. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes, or 2 hours and 30 minutes, and it flows. It doesn't feel that long. But an interesting side plot to me was the fact that they hired this extra guy, and it seemed like they didn't like to kill anybody in their heist. right? And they were, they had pulled off the heist and for the most part they kept damage pretty low and they're trying to get out of there and he kind of does that at the beginning, which kind of sets the tone for kind of like a side plot. To me that was interesting because you have the law enforcement, you have the master thief, which I mean, this is not uncommon. We've seen stuff like this, and then De Niro finally he finds something that could potentially keep him there, and he meets the girl that was in that show, Judging Amy. And it kind of gives him pause and I tell you another thing, Val Kilmer to me, as I look at his movies in the 90s, he always plays kind of like an eccentric character, but he does it so well, right?
Hmm.
In the movie The Saint, he portrayed all
Yep.
these different saints, right? Makeup, wigs, Batman Forever, he was Bruce Wayne, did that well. I liked him as Batman.
I do
Um,
too.
Tombstone, he was the guy that was the fastest draw. And but it's he just plays unique characters really well. I mean, he was in Top Gun. That one he just kind of played the hot shot. But I like, as I look back on his movies, very kind of eccentric characters, but man, he is such a good actor,
He
playing
is.
the different roles.
Yeah. No, top notch. Val Kilmer, probably one of the most underrated actors of his generation. He really was. We lost him about 2 years ago, I guess.
And
Um,
a beautiful cameo in Top Gun
Maverick.
Maverick. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
I that was very cool to see him in that
Yeah.
role as a tribute.
Correct. No, Val Kilmer's top notch in this movie. He's really, really good. Um, you had mentioned Amy Brenneman, who was from, was it Judging Amy? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that was a show, right?
Yeah. She's a conflicted character in this movie, right? Oh, she's got some feelings for Robert De Niro. I, I, I don't understand Robert De Niro's motivation in this movie. He wants to rob banks, and he kind of gets a high off of it, but he's also very low key. I mean, he's kind of like the straight man to Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer is very volatile. His character's, on edge.
Right,
Uh, where there's also the famous scene we kind of overlooked it, where Robert De Niro gets pulled over by Al Pacino and they have coffee together and they are face to face against each other, right?
right.
I believe that was the first time those two actors have actually shared screen time face to
Okay,
face because they were both in the movie Godfather Part 2. De Niro plays a young Vito Corleone, and Pacino is in present time being his son, but they never share screen time in the movie because De Niro is portrayed in the flashbacks. So this is the first time they were actually on screen together, and I think they've been in several movies since then, like The Irishman that came out a couple years ago. I haven't seen that, um, but that's obviously a very famous scene about they basically tell each other like we do have like an unwritten rule of respect here, but at the same time, you cross my path again, I will kill you,
right.
which inevitably ends up happening at the end. But definitely interesting.
Absolutely. And for me, growing up, I didn't see a ton of De Niro movies. The first one that I recall very well is like Meet the Parents,
Yeah.
right, with Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson. So when I watched it, I was kind of taken back a little bit because De Niro's younger, right?
Yeah.
He's got full head of hair. He's got the facial hair, and I was like, okay, this is kind of a different look than seeing him like in the intern, right? Where a lot of times he'll play like that getting older, like kind of grandpa age character. And so that was the look definitely looked like he was in his prime. As he was pulling these heists off, and then Pacino, Pacino, same thing. You kind of see him in the older roles since we were both born in the mid '80s. So unless you kind of like seek out those '70s and '80s movies, most time I'll see Pacino, and he's like probably 60, 70. And so seeing both of them in their prime in the same movie with a just fantastic cast was just wild. I mean, as the movie progressed, I was like, holy cow, he's in it. Wasn't the guy from Forrest Gump in it as well? Bubba thought he was in it.
He was in it. He was one of the sergeants.
Yeah, I mean
Right.
that it all
Well,
the you see all the guys that are playing kind of these supporting casts, and you're like, oh man, he made it, he made it, he made it,
well,
or Natalie Portman is a young lady, and then she had a fantastic career between the Star Wars, the Marvel, I mean, and she's been in a bunch of good movies as the lead.
well, what about Pedro Serrano, Dennis Haysbert? He was
That's
in this movie, right?
Doesn't he
He,
doesn't he do the insurance?
yeah, that's right. But before that, he was a former prisoner who got on work release, and he was going to go work at a diner, and he was told that he had to be a cook in the back and take out the trash.
He just couldn't hit the curveball.
That's right. He couldn't
In,
do it, right?
in Major League. Hopefully we'll get that one next. Major League. Oh, dude, that would be awesome.
You know, you mentioned like De Niro looking younger in this movie, and same thing with Pacino. I agree with you. When I was thinking about this movie, I was like, this movie came out in 95. Meet the Parents came out in 2000. So only about 5 years apart.
Yeah.
Yet De Niro looks substantially younger in this movie. Obviously, they made him look like a middle-aged dad in Meet the Parents. I get it, the way his wardrobe and his appearance was presented, but I wonder that, this was probably the last time in 1995 that they could make this movie with De Niro and Pacino being young enough for this.
Yeah.
Because if they made this movie, I don't know, 7, 8 years later, I don't necessarily know they could pull it off.
You're right.
Yeah. So to me, I think they had picked the perfect time, maybe like the last really good time to make this movie between these two before they really started aging out. Because again, De Niro was probably 50, early 50s when this movie came out. Pacino was probably in his mid, late 50s, probably mid 50s. But yeah, good timing. They got the movie done. Um, again, I'm
Hopefully,
really,
hopefully,
go
hopefully we'll
ahead.
see a sequel.
Yeah, yeah. Well, De Niro won't be in it. Speaking of which, what was your take on the ending at the airport?
Okay, so for me, I love the movie. To me, I thought the ending was, I don't know if it was rushed or if it was, um, in your mind, you kind of think you know what's going to happen, right? And so you're like, all right, it's a standoff between Pacino and De Niro. He's a cop, the other guy's a thief. I just don't see the thief making it out alive, right? And so sometimes
Yeah,
I use that movie logic, and I'm like, all right, um, I just don't see De Niro walking out of this, right? And so
yeah,
to me, I thought not bad. I'd give it an average ending. Compared with the rest of the movie, I just thought the ending was it just left a little bit to be desired. And so that was just my take on it. The other part that I thought just was absolutely wild, and when they put it in there was when Val Kilmer was coming back to Ashley Judd's character,
yeah,
and they kind of had like a signal if like stuff was going bad, what to
yeah.
do. And I thought that was just a wild scene where he like comes in, like all the cops are there. I think he even does he interact with a cop on the way in?
I
Like
don't,
in the car, like he drives up and a guy kind of like checks him out.
maybe. I just remember him getting out of the car. He obviously looks different than how he did
Yeah.
previously in the movie. And she kind of gives him like a signal, like, hey, you got to go. Right.
I thought that
She,
was such a cool scene though.
yeah. Yeah, no, that was really well done. My take on the ending is like I think they try to be like overly poetic with it. Was like he holds his hand at the end, all this mutual respect for each other, and it's just like I okay, but I agree with you. It could have been better. I think the only suspense was the fact that as planes were coming in and all that, you were getting darkness and then lighting and all that, and that added some suspense to it. Um, I agree with you. I think the movie's really good. I think it's a landmark movie for a lot of reasons. I've heard Christopher Nolan say that this movie had a huge influence in terms of like the design of Gotham City for The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think the ending kind of lets you down a little bit. It's not a bad ending. You get it.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
justice, but it's not like, grandiose.
Right. And another thing that I think was so well done in the movie is like the lack of CGI with these combat scenes. I mean, like 95, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, movies back then they had action scenes, right? But this one to me just felt different. It felt like you were right there in the streets, and that you could feel the tension. Man, it puts you right there, and not a
Yeah.
lot of movies can do that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so I thought from that standpoint that was really well done. Like I said, man, the hockey mask is it's almost haunting, but like in a good way. Like, oh, dude, that's man, you see that, and it wasn't necessarily the Jason mask, right, which is also a hockey mask. It was a newer design hockey mask, but that was one thing where, man, I saw that scene and it reminded me like when I was in the 90s and I had seen like trailers for Heat and I was like, oh dude, that's creepy. Like creepy in a good way, you know what I'm saying? Like where it's like kind of just it sticks in your mind. It's like, oh dude, this is wild.
Yeah. So should we move on to ratings? 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
I love it. I love it. What do we want to do first? Do we want to do the recast or do we want to do the separation?
Let's do recast.
Okay. All right. I like it. So are we recasting? Well, I mean, he came out in the 90s, right?
Let's do the three main actors. Let's do Hannah, which is Al Pacino's character, Macaulay, which is De Niro's character, and Shirless, which is Val Kilmer's character. So just those three.
Well, okay. So I'm just gonna kind of give a lead into. I haven't picked them, but it's kind of funny that we are talking about this because I just watched a movie recently called The Rip, and two actors that potentially could do this, even though a lot of times they're in movies together, is like a Matt Damon and a Ben Affleck. So in
Hmm.
that particular movie, they're both cops, right? And they get a tip about some money in a house, and and I was thinking like those guys wouldn't that wouldn't be a bad pairing, right? They're probably what? They're probably approaching 50. Is that right? Matt Damon and Ben Affleck?
They're probably both in their early 50s now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, maybe Ben Affleck is Pacino's character, or Matt Damon is De Niro's character. That wouldn't be a bad casting, you know. That was just kind of an initial thought because I literally just watched The Rip over the weekend. That just came out. But
So who would you cast in the Val Kilmer role?
ooh, that's a good one because someone definitely has to have some range, Timothy Chalamet's not old enough yet. Yeah,
It's true.
well, you know what? I'm kind of feeling almost kind of feel like, and it jumps into my head because I think I actually sent you this. It was a picture of Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Hmm.
Um, Hugh Jackman is the cop. I don't think he plays roles like that where and
He
then,
could. He
yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
could.
absolutely. And he would probably do a great job. So Hugh Jackman is Pacino, Ryan Reynolds is De Niro, and then Gyllenhaal is Val Kilmer. That'd be my
Okay. To me, this is the easiest one that we've ever had. It is. DiCaprio as De Niro's character.
okay.
He can play it. He can play a baddie. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Christian Bale as Al Pacino's character,
Okay.
because both guys are Bale's 51. I think DiCaprio is 50,
Yeah.
and Val Kilmer's character is Austin Butler. Got the same blonde hair.
I
I like
like
that.
the Austin Butler pick.
Yeah, younger. I mean, I don't know how Val Kilmer was in this movie. He was probably in his probably 35 when this movie came out. I don't know how Austin Butler is, but he's probably close to that, maybe a little bit younger. But I think that would be a good pick.
Blonde hair, ponytail for Val
Yeah.
Kilmer. Austin Butler, that's a heck of a pull. No, that'd be a real good pick there with Leo and Uh, you said Leo, Austin Butler, and
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Yep.
Yeah.
No, that would be sweet. That would be a real good casting.
All right. So 6 degrees of separation, Kevin Bacon.
Let's do this. All right, so we're gonna do the top two, Pacino and De Niro.
Okay.
See if we
I
if we if we do Val Kilmer. I mean, we could do Val Kilmer, time permitting. You know.
okay. So how about a new rule in the game? You have to guess on how many takes it's going to moves it's going to take me to get to connecting Bacon with Pacino or Bacon with De Niro.
Okay.
And I'll do the same for you.
Sounds
So
good.
you go first. You do Kevin Bacon and Robert De Niro. I think you have to get it in four.
All right, De Niro. All right. So with De Niro, I would say De Niro was in Heat. So the first one will be Dirty Grandpa with Zac Efron.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah. When people think of De Niro's filmography, it's Heat and
Zac
Dirty
Efron
Grandpa.
was in Baywatch with The Rock.
It's true.
The Rock was in Red Note. Let's see, Red Notice with Ryan Reynolds.
All right. R.I.P.D. Here we go.
Ryan Reynolds was in R.I.P.D. with Kevin with
Yeah.
with the bacon. Is that four? Dude, our podcast is going to turn the 6 degrees of separation into degrees of
All right.
separation, RIPD.
You always do R.I.P.D. and I always do. All right. How can I bring this back to the air up there? Okay, here we go.
You always do JF, you always do JFK, don't you?
In JFK. All right. All right. So who do I have? De Niro
Yep. So you got to do De Niro
in
and
a different manner. Okay.
yeah, let's go five. Now, at first I was thinking Meet the Parents, right? But I don't know how I could connect Owen Wilson and Kevin Bacon.
That shouldn't be that hard. It should be easier than that, right?
Yeah.
All
Well, I
right.
was thinking like Vince Vaughn, Rachel McAdams, you know.
Give me a minute. Okay. So Robert De Niro, he was in a movie called, he's in a movie with Sean Penn. They're both escapees. They're like dressed up like priests, but I don't know the name of the movie because I could get Sean Penn to Kevin Bacon pretty easy, but I can't think of that movie. So Robert De Niro was in The Untouchables with Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner was in JFK. Kevin Bacon was in JFK.
We always go back to the good ones.
Hey, okay, now you do Pacino. You got to get it in. This is going to be harder for you. I'm going to say five moves
Okay. All right.
because I don't think Pacino was in any movie with RPD ever.
Hold my energy drink. All right. So Pacino. Pacino was in Devil's Advocate with Keanu
Okay.
Reeves.
That's true.
Keanu Reeves was in Speed with Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
Sandra Bullock was in The Proposal.
All right, I'm going to cut this off.
With Ryan Reynolds.
Keep
And
going.
I think you know what comes next. Was that four or five? And I got to RIPD.
Uh, who cares? All right.
What can
All
I
right.
say? RIPD saved my bacon, if you know what I'm
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm going to try to go a different pathway than the one you took on
saying.
because I'm pretty sure Al Pacino was an extra in the airplane. All right. So Al Pacino. What Al Pacino movies? All right.
Any given Sunday.
I was gonna go Any Given Sunday. I was gonna go down that path. Al Pacino, Any Given Sunday with Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz is in the movie Wild Thing. No, no, with There's Something About Mary with Matt Dillon. Matt Dillon is in the movie Wild Things, right?
Yep.
And that also stars Kevin Bacon. Doesn't
Nicely
it? Doesn't it? Is
done.
that
Yep.
right?
Yep. I think he's the cop. At first, when you said Cameron Diaz, I was thinking you were gonna go Night and Day with Tom Cruise,
No,
and then Tom Cruise to
no,
a few good men.
no. I was going to do that.
That's a solid pick there, my friend.
Not because Tom Cruise wasn't in JFK, so I can't do that. All right, so let's rate this movie from 1 to 100.
I'm trying to think how we rated the other ones. Yeah, I think we.
So
Oh yeah,
I
yep. Let me grab
I
my sheet
remember I
here.
think I gave No Country for Old Men like a 95 or 96.
Yeah,
I think I gave Step Brothers 68, and I'm pretty sure I gave Point Break last time we met like a 93 or a 94.
yep. And I think I gave No Country for Old Men. I think maybe a 97 something like that. So
Yeah.
actually, maybe.
And so I'm going to write it down on a piece of paper. That way, you know, I didn't do anything shady here. Fold this over.
I mean, we're getting good ones here. There's no question about that. And then we'll do the random pick for next week.
Step Brothers was debatable, but
Oh
anyway,
yeah, that's true. They come out with a sequel though.
okay. I know people are going to lose their mind when I show this grade, but all right, you ready?
Yep, you go first. 85.
85.
All right, all right.
Good movie.
I gave
94.
94.
Damn.
I mean,
You really
I
like
didn't,
it.
I don't see much. Yeah, I mean, I don't see much wrong with it. Like I said, the end, could have been a little bit better, but the rest of the movie, man, the cast, um, plot, very, very well done in my opinion. So,
Yeah. No, it was really good. I would say that all else equal, it probably would get a 90, 91, but the ending itself kind of brings it down a little bit.
yeah, no, I get that for sure.
All right, so we need to pick a movie for our next meeting.
Yep. Yep.
What genre do we want to pursue?
Well, what we've done so far, we've done action. What was the first one considered? What was No Country for Old Men? Do we do a genre or we just said pick a movie?
I was pick a movie, but I mean, it's kind of a Western. It's a modern Western.
Yeah. And then Step Brothers, obviously comedy. So we've done comedy, we've done action. Do we want to,
I'd say
are you a sci-fi guy or not?
I am really not a science fiction person, but for the sake of putting together another episode where we kind of do something different, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
What's kind of nice about what we're doing is, of the top of the four we've done so far, Point Break is the only one that I've seen multiple times. Well, sorry, I've seen a lot. Step Brothers I've seen once or twice. No Country for Old Men I saw once. Heat I've seen once, and so Point Break I've seen like 25 times. And so with these movies, we haven't seen them a lot, um, which, allows us to kind of, sometimes when you see things too many times, then, it maybe things don't stand out as much, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, let's do this.
Okay, so pick a science fiction movie from what time frame?
I'd say keep with the 90 to 2010. Does that sound good?
Give us 5, 10.
Yeah, let's go 10. Yeah, let's go 10.
Give 10 recommendations. So
My guess is going to pull up Fifth Element.
what I will do is I will share the screen. What do you see?
Let's see. Yep, I see it. Pick a science fiction movie from 1990 to 2010. Give 10 recommendations.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Okay, The Matrix, Terminator 2, Gattaca, Minority Report, The Fifth Element, Dark City, District 9, Children of Men, Moon, The 13th Floor. All right.
I've seen
I've
about half
s-
of these. I
I've
haven't
seen
seen
two
all of
I've
these.
seen two of these.
Okay.
I've
I've
seen
seen I've seen
I,
Matrix, Terminator 2, Minority Report, Fifth Element, District 9. Yeah, so I've seen about half of these.
I've seen two of them. I've seen Terminator 2 and I've seen The Fifth Element.
What was the second
And
one?
The Fifth Element with
Oh
Bruce
yeah.
Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've never seen The Matrix. I've never seen Minority Report. Those are kind of like the obvious ones.
Yeah.
Um, are you go with these 10 and just pick one from there?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I may have to watch it for the first time, depending on which one it picks.
Yeah, I've never even heard of Gattaca, Dark City, District 9, and Moon. I've heard of
I,
Children of Men and the 13th Floor,
I
but
haven't, the ones I haven't heard of is Moon and the 13th Floor.
all
So
right.
chances are
I,
we're gonna get Moon.
no, I think what it tends to do is they will pick something that is pretty like mainstream, like Minority Report or The Matrix. But here we go.
Yeah, three. Ah! I think this has I think this has Clive Owen, right?
Children of Men? I've never heard of this movie.
I think it has
All
all
right,
right,
so
pick a second one. What's your second pick here?
okay, so Children of Men,
I think Clive Owen.
Clive Owen, Julianne Moore, Michael Caine. Okay. I do not remember this movie at all. But you know what's great? It's set in 2027, and as it says right there, human infertility has led to wars and global depression. Well, they were pretty much spot on about that. So, all right. Well, I if I can find this movie on a streaming platform, I will watch it. But The Children of Men. Wow. Do we want to stick with this?
Let's see what their second choice is. Two out of three.
Pick
All right, I can go with that one. This one I've never seen before, so this one to me seems more interesting.
pick another.
Are you good with this one?
Ga- Gattaca? What is this movie?
I think Ethan Hawke's in this one.
You know every stupid movie out there. Ethan Hawke, Uma Thurman.
I've never seen this though.
Have you seen Children of Men?
I've seen part of it. Clive
I,
Owen. All right, let's pick one more.
all right.
Give us a
Third.
new list.
How about this? Pick Terminator.
Pick Terminator 2 or the second
Pick one
Terminator
more. All
2.
right.
Yeah,
Whatever
all
they
right.
pick is what we're gonna watch. All
All
right.
right, here we go.
Please be like Matrix or Terminator, something that's watchable. All right.
All right, let's go. Fourth time's the charm. I've never heard of this movie. I've never heard of this movie.
Moon. All right, let me look this one up.
All right,
Moon.
let's adjust the time frame. Let's go 1990 to 2008.
A science fiction movie starring Sam Rockwell.
Dude, it's wild. After, what did it say? Let's see.
Sundance Film Festival. It grossed $10 million. dollars. So a huge hit worldwide. Um,
All right, let's pick one more, and then we'll really.
all right.
uh, all right.
Great choices so far, but pick one more for us. Okay, it's gonna be like Dark City. Here we go.
All right, now that we've knocked the first five out of there, All
Park
right, all right.
City?
Let's do this. Let's do this. All right, let's.
Park City. I've never.
Who is in that?
1998. Who's in this one? Kiefer Sutherland, Jennifer Connelly, William Hurt. Okay, this movie grossed $27 million. dollars.
All right. I got one. I got one last idea.
Okay.
But pick one between Terminator 2, The Matrix, and
Pick between T2, Minority Report,
Matrix and Fifth Element.
Fifth Element.
This is our show. We can do what we want. All right, we've
Um,
narrowed it down.
Gattaca. It'll pick it again. All right, there you go, Matrix.
All right, that works.
Okay, you're going to be happy with this because I know The Matrix is a beloved movie. Everybody's seen it except for me. I've never seen this movie.
You look, you got to go into this movie. It's Keanu Reeves, it's Lawrence Fishburne, Hugo Weaving. Um, this movie's awesome. So I'm excited. I'm glad we randomly picked. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
the other ones. Yeah, they're just not the Matrix. So I'm glad we were able to randomly pick and come up with the Matrix fifth
yeah,
try.
yeah.
So no,
It
this is
was
a good
destined to
one. I'm
be.
very excited. I'll have to go back and watch this movie. I think I'll even see if my wife wants to watch it with me. This is an awesome movie. Really, really well done. So I think we got a
Okay,
good one
good.
for next week.
Okay, well, I trust you.
Yep. Sci-fi. This is a good one. I
Okay,
think you will. I think you'll be glad you watched this one. It's a good one.
okay. Well, we'll end it there, I guess.
Sounds good. Thank you guys for tuning in. Till next week.